always picture it when you see it on social media. Oh, we have DB, oh, we have Tosh. But now to be in the same place, in the same building, on the same team, it's a great feeling.
Back on the court. The hype for a WNBA team, maybe even any basketball team, has never been bigger. The new look Fever, assembled over the past few months, is dramatically different from last year's version, with only 5 of the 15 players from last season's team back. The team brought in a new coach, they added players with championship pedigree, proven leadership, defense, toughness, and yeah, a lot of offense too. All of this gives Caitlin Clark something she's never had before, an A-list supporting cast. Now she is leading a team that many analysts and sports books are ranking among the favorites to win it all. And from what we've seen this offseason, all eyes will be on Caitlin and the Fever every single night. There has been a steady stream of wins for the Fever lately, and they all suggest the Caitlin Clark effect we saw last year was just the warm-up. What we're about to experience will be on a whole new level.
Well, it took just 1 hour for Caitlin Clark's return to Carver Hawkeye Arena to be sold out.
Since when are WNBA preseason tickets harder to get than Taylor Swift tickets? The Fever's preseason sellout is not normal. 15,000 tickets, gone instantly, to watch Caitlin and the Fever take on a Brazilian national team with players no casual fan would recognize. Fans clearly have Caitlin withdrawal after she snubbed Unrivaled. She doesn't play for 850 fans. She plays for 15,000 plus. Speaking of which,
and for the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center.
Team owners around the league hopped on board the Caitlin Clark money train as well, with 6 teams moving their regular season home games against the Fever into NBA-sized arenas. Not for their entire schedule, not for their other matchups, only for the games when Caitlin Clark and the Fever come to town. Try and think of a time where teams in another league did something similar.
It never happened.
And then the broadcast schedule dropped.
The Fever, they lead the league with 41 games.
The Fever are set to have 41 of their 44 games nationally televised or streamed, way more than anyone else. The league and the networks are betting big on Caitlin Clark. And honestly, can you blame them? Plus, with creatine Caitlin getting jacked over the offseason, fans are dying to see her flex on the court instead of just doing off-season interviews. And with that, let's get into the highlights from day one. Everyone just got their first real taste of Caitlin and the new look Fever, and they looked like they were already in midseason form. Last year, one of the biggest issues for the Fever was defense. Too many open looks, too many second chance points, too many games slipping away late because they just did not have the toughness or the size to lock teams down. That is why bringing in Natasha Howard is such a massive upgrade. She is an elite defender, a former Defensive Player of the Year, and you could already see the impact in training camp. She is everywhere, hustling, blocking shots. Natasha brings the kind of defensive energy the Fever were desperately missing last season. And it is not just the defense that looks sharper. Check out the offense. Last year, offense was the Fever's strength, but now, with all the new weapons around Caitlin Clark, it's at a whole different level. This is only going to make Caitlin even better. She has more options, more shooters, more players who can finish around the rim, which means defenses are about to have nightmares. You cannot just trap Caitlin and hope for the best anymore. If you double her, she is going to find the open player. If you sag off, she is going to bury you with a 3. If you get caught ball watching, game over. And on day 1, we got our first game-winning 3 of the season and glimpses of her elite court vision. Now, some people will think it is a little too early to read into things, but these sessions matter a lot given the circumstances. With only 5 players returning from last season, this is basically an entirely new team. In a 44-game season, their ability to gel and build chemistry quickly is going to be critical to where they seed going into the playoffs. And honestly, this is what's keeping them from being ranked as a top team. The chemistry is unknown. That's why I think you see Fansided and other rankings putting the Fever around the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. But there are still some outlets putting them around the top 6, which is middle of the pack, which is crazy considering that after their rough 1-8 start last season, the Fever were actually one of the best teams in the WNBA down the stretch. If they find the chemistry early, some analysts suggest the Fever could be the best team in the league.
Year, and also with a new coach and Coach Stephanie White, a lot of the games that the Indiana Fever team lost last year were close games that they weren't able to pull out at the end. A lot of that comes down to coaching. Now you have a veteran coach in Coach Stephanie White. You have seen her be so involved with her players. Also, none of these players played overseas this season. Some of them played in Unrivaled, some of them played in AU. They were all here, and a lot of them were in Indiana training all summer. There are just so many things from what we know about this team. And again, I know that I have not seen this team on the court together. We don't know how the chemistry is going to shake out, but seeing what they had last year and now seeing what they have this year, I have them shaking out at the end of the season being that number 2 seed in the WNBA. And if they can get it together quick enough, they might inch their way into that number 1 seed.
Now, the main reason the Fever should be able to gel quickly comes down to one thing: leadership. They have a real coach now in Stephanie White. According to the odds makers, she is already the clear frontrunner to win Coach of the Year. That tells you everything you need to know about how much of an upgrade she is. And it is not just coaching. The Fever brought in a ton of veteran leadership on the floor too. Players who have been around. Players who know how to win championships. Players who know what it takes to keep a locker room together when the pressure hits. One of those players is DeWanna Bonner. And she spoke directly about the leadership she plans to bring and her role on this team.
The most impressive thing, I think, is them wanting to be better. You know, they want to be a great team. They want to be a great organization. They want the leadership. So just all eyes looking at me like, okay, BB, what do you want to do next? And, you know, everybody just been receptive of me being a leader. And just trying to give all the knowledge I can, but also save my breath because they fast. They run a lot.
What DeWanna said at the end is something every Fever fan should be excited about. This team is fast. They have a ton of offensive weapons now, including DeWanna herself, and it is going to give defenses absolute fits. No more doubling Caitlin at half court and hoping the Fever cannot make you pay. Now, Caitlin Clark has a full arsenal at her disposal. She has shooters, she has post players who can finish, and that is only going to make her playmaking even more dangerous. Caitlin is not going to have to force greatness like she did last season, which often led to turnovers. Rashad McCants made a great point about this.
Talk about her already leading the W in assists. And a lot of the assists that she could have gotten were now turnovers. Yeah. Because they're either,
you can say that about every player.
Of course. But this is obvious with her. She's throwing pitch aheads, wide open layups. They're smoking them. This could be 13 a game. This could be 14 a game.
Caitlin Clark has already proven to be one of, if not the best, playmaker in the WNBA. She set the single-season assists record as a rookie, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it. And she did it with a supporting cast that, if we are being real, was a basement-level team the year before. There is a reason they had the first overall pick. Anyway, Caitlin was out there dropping dimes to players who, on a lot of nights, could not finish the job. A lot of those turnovers last season were not bad decisions. They were missed opportunities. They could have been points if she had a stronger supporting cast. Now she has it. Not only will Caitlin make her teammates better, like she always does, her teammates are now good enough to make her even better too.
One of those ladies is obviously Caitlin. So what's it been like just building that relationship with you two? I saw you kind of messing around with each other on the court, so it looks like it's going pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. She's such a dynamic player. She does a lot for this team, and we understand that. So I think everybody here just want to make her life easier, and she wants to make everybody else's life easier. So just putting all the pieces together that we can be a threat on, every level of the court, not just with Caitlin this year. So I'm just ready to put it all together, and it's so crazy because we got 4 days where we play a preseason game, so I think we got to put it together pretty quick. But the relationship's going great. Yeah, I love seeing.
And that is where things are about to get very scary for the rest of the league. Not only does having a complete squad boost the Fever's championship aspirations, it could mean a breakout year for Caitlin Clark. Last year, she was already putting up historic numbers with a team that was still rebuilding. Now, with real firepower around her, better coaching, and a full offseason of rest and strength training, Caitlin is set up to take her game to another level. This is the year where she could not just be great, she could be unstoppable. And if that happens, we're talking MVP consideration.
Caitlin Clark is surrounded by not just a couple great players, the entire squad is finally full. So my prediction going into this season is that teams are not going to be able to face guard, to double team, to pick up full court like they were last year because there are so many other threats on the court with this Indiana Fever team. And I think with having a coach like Stephanie White, she's going to have a better system, a better scheme to break some of these defenses that they didn't have last year. So I think all of this put together is just a perfect storm, a perfect recipe for Caitlin Clark. Like Keith Porter told us in the interview that I did with him a couple months ago, he absolutely thinks that this could be her MVP season in just her second year in the WNBA. That is why she is my choice for the 2025 WNBA MVP.
Caitlin Clark is already a frontrunner for MVP. Depending on the sportsbook, she is either first or second in the odds. And you get the sense around the league that players know exactly what is coming. This is shaping up to be a monster season for Caitlin. Have you noticed that Caitlin has been getting a lot of praise lately? And not just from the usual sources, from unexpected places. In the past, we have talked about how players have shown jealousy toward the Caitlin Clark effect.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
And it is obvious why. Look at the national TV broadcasts. Look at the record-breaking ratings. Look at the teams literally moving their games to bigger arenas just because Caitlin is coming to town. It is crystal clear. She is the one people are showing up to see. But something shifted this offseason. With all the momentum around Caitlin and the praise from legends like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Miller, and Diana Taurasi, it feels like the league is starting to get it. It is almost like people are realizing they want to be on the right side of history. Or maybe now they finally feel comfortable giving her credit because the OGs have openly backed her. Tell me what you think in the comments. Either way, check out the praise Caitlin just got from Minnesota Lynx guard Courtney Williams.
Like a problem, bro.
Yeah, see that.
I just think about my rookie year, and I think about how I came into the league, and I'm like, bro, it was such a crazy transition for me to just understand what it's like to play at the pro level. And it's like this girl coming in as a rookie and going she broke the record for assists. I don't think people really understand how crazy that is to do as a rookie, your first year doing this.
And it is not just Courtney. You also have Seattle Storm guard Lexi Brown giving Caitlin major props.
People were so caught up in the logo threes and the 20 3-point attempts per game, which absolutely I understand that. It was so much fun to watch, but I always said she could potentially be one of the best point guards to ever play in the WNBA.
Listen, there are always going to be garbage takes in the media. There are always going to be players who are jealous. I mean, I get it to a degree. It is tough not to be when someone like Caitlin Clark is completely changing the game and you aren't. But even with all that, I do expect the WNBA to be a friendlier environment for Caitlin this year. Off the court, you have the new CBA negotiations coming up. And let's be real, Caitlin is clearly the reason the players are about to get a serious raise. She has brought in the fans, she has driven the TV ratings, she has spiked merch sales through the roof. The attention she brought is the reason the pie is about to get a lot bigger for everybody. So it might be time for some people to stop yapping about her fans like they are some kind of problem. Because Caitlin's fans are literally the reason the players are about to see their biggest payday ever. Facts are facts. Stuff like this just isn't going to fly.
New fans are sucking the
life out of the WNBA.
I know she's an ESPN analyst, not a player, but these are exactly the kind of takes that alienate fans, and it is exactly what the league does not need right now. The WNBA is on the verge of something massive. You do not throw shade at the new fans who are actually showing up, buying tickets, buying jerseys, and setting viewership records. You embrace them. And honestly, I do not know for sure, but it seems like dissenting voices are starting to be left out of the WNBA's bigger plans. You can feel it. The league knows who is driving this growth, and they are being a lot more careful about who they want representing the brand going forward.
The WNBA media looks like they're taking big fat L's today, particularly one Cheryl Swoops. That's right.
Recently, the Dallas Wings officially announced their broadcast team for the upcoming season, and Cheryl Swoops was noticeably nowhere to be found. She was a major part of their broadcast last year, but now she is out. And that is not the only change. Cheryl is also no longer the co-host of the recently rebranded Women's Hoops podcast, a podcast that, let's be honest, was seen by some fans as a Caitlin Clark hate fest. Then you have Cindy Brunson, the former broadcaster for Phoenix Mercury games, who is also notorious for her criticism of Caitlin Clark. She is now no longer part of the broadcast team either. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. But it definitely feels like the WNBA is cleaning up the messaging as they move into the biggest season in league history.
Do you think that from some of the stuff that they were posting on social media, like, it's not the greatest look? It's not the greatest look employing a person, employing someone who says the stuff that they said. And what, by the way, like, Cheryl Swoops just kind of lied about Caitlin Clark. Cindy Brunson went into a Twitter space and said some, like, really not good things.
Now, I've got to ask, and give me a green check or a red X in the comments to let me know if you think this is true. Does any of this have to do with the WNBA's new initiative to grow the league, protect the brand, and bring in a new wave of fans?
And one thing we've been working hard on in the offseason is a comprehensive platform around a multidimensional approach to combating hate and vitriol in the forms experienced by our players, teams, staff, and fans.
I don't know, but the timing is kind of crazy. The most notorious haters being fired or pushed out. And then suddenly this outpouring of love and respect for Caitlin Clark from players and analysts. My gut tells me that deep down, everyone knows exactly what is happening. The owners know. That is why they moved their home games against the Fever into NBA arenas. The networks know. That is why almost every Fever game is now on national TV. The fans know, and that's why Caitlin Clark's jersey is the second best-selling jersey in the NBA. Not the WNBA, the NBA, right behind Steph Curry. Add in the fact that March Madness dropped over 10 million viewers without Caitlin this year, and it becomes crystal clear. The players in the league are staring at a once-in-a-generation moment. They have a chance to be on the right side of history. Because with all the Fever's additions this offseason, and with Caitlin leveling up in every possible way, and Caitlin Clark is sitting right there as the early favorite for MVP, everybody knows it. It is just a matter of who is smart enough to embrace it.
She is who she is, man. She is who she is.
She is who we
and
thought
now
she
you
was.
putting certain bodies around her that can help her grow, especially because she going through, like, you know, she went crazy last year, her first year in the league, but now you bringing in that veteran leadership. I think even for Aaliyah Boston too, like, I think that's gonna help them get to that next level. Like, so I think Indiana gonna be a dangerous team. At least top 4. I'm gonna say at least top 4.
Natasha Howard and a DeWanna Bonner that can just straight up go get their own bucket. And they're huge, okay? These are tall people, okay, guys? I think they're both like 6'3" and 6'4", right? So matchup nightmare. Sophie Cunningham has been playing out of position in Phoenix for like 3 years. So she probably will get to go play the 3 again. She's a very underrated defender. And now you have very elite rim protection in Bree Turner. So now you go keep Aaliyah Boston out of foul trouble, which means she's going to be able to stay on the court. So, do I think that they are a contender? Yes, I do.
And what we saw on day 1, yeah, it is early, but it is enough to get excited about what is coming. It reinforced what the players around the league already know. The Fever are the real deal. And everyone is going to be watching. Every game, every highlight, every record-breaking moment. More records are about to fall. And we could be heading into the WNBA's own Jordan and Bulls era. Last season could be considered the Bird Magic era because Caitlin and, to a lesser degree, Angel Reese brought attention to the league and forced it into the mainstream. This year, it could go international. We're already starting to see the signs.
Everyone talking about, oh, you know, it's only Middle America. It's only Middle America. So what the hell does Middle America have to do with the fact of calling it White America? Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. This is Uganda. We are looking at Uganda right now. And there are people wearing there are a bunch of girls wearing Iowa t-shirts.
This was just day one of what could be an incredible season and a game-changing future for the Fever and for the league. If you are still here, drop a basketball emoji in the comments to say hi. Thanks for watching.